If you haven't already subscribed, be sure to click the subscribe button and hit the notification bell to be notified of more movie-related videos. Thank you. What's going on, guys? It's that guy with Movies back here again, and today's video is going to be a collection video, but it's going to be a different kind of collection video. I'm going to be starting to do some video game collections, and what better way to start off doing those with my PlayStation 2 collection or my PS2 game collection. It's one of my absolute favorite consoles, if not my absolute favorite console of all time. I absolutely love it. Such great games, and it's got a lot of nostalgia for me as well. So I'm going to be showing you guys the collection that I have amassed of my PS2 games. I don't have absolutely every single game, so you're not going to see every single game in my collection. And this is just what I have for right now. So without further ado, let's go ahead, let's go to the floor, and let's take a look and see what I have for my PS2 game collection. Alright, let's go ahead and get started here. I'm actually going to show you guys the only PS1 game that I have in my collection right now. And you're probably wondering, why don't you have any more PS1 games? Well, I did used to have a PS2 a long time ago when I was a little kid, but I got rid of it. I had a whole bunch of games for it, but yeah, stupid me, I decided to get rid of my original PlayStation 2. So I just rebought it just this past year, I think. And I've actually amassed quite the game collection here. So let's just go ahead and let's start with the first PS1 here. That's kind of explaining why I don't have like a lot of like the popular games. So yeah, anyways, let's just get started. So first and only PS1 game I have here is Final Fantasy VIII. I know a lot of people really love these Final Fantasy ones. Personally, I can never get into them as a kid, but I am trying to branch out into a whole bunch of different genres here, just to kind of try one of everything here. And these are supposed to be super long games as well, but this is one of, I think, 3 that they put out on PS1 here. As you can see right here, the disc is kind of messed up there, but yeah, they're long games because we have 2 discs, but that's not all. We also have 2 more discs, so we have 4 discs in total, so that is kind of yikes for this game, but yeah, I've heard nothing but great things about Final Fantasy, so I might have to try it here soon. So that is Final Fantasy VIII right there. Alright, let's go ahead and let's start taking a look at some PS2 games now, and first one we're going to start with is the third-person ones, I think. So I'll kind of let you guys know when we're going to kind of be switching genres. So first one I have here is Jet Li Rise to Honor, and this is one that I got not too long ago, and it's actually quite fun. I've been playing it. So you're basically playing like a Jet Li movie, and yeah, it's really fun. There's like kind of an odd control scheme where you use like the right stick to kind of like attack and everything. It's really weird, but it's kind of unique at the same time. But yeah, you can do a whole bunch of like punches and kicks and everything, and there's the inside. If you're wondering, it is complete. Most of these ones are complete, so that is one good thing there. So yeah, Jet Li Rise to Honor. It's pretty fun if you're a fan of martial art movies or if you're a fan of Jet Li. I definitely recommend checking this one out. So that is Jet Li Rise to Honor. And then we have one pretty popular series here, and that is God of War. So we're going to go ahead and look at the first one first. Yeah, unfortunately, this is the greatest hits one. They are a lot cheaper than the Black Label ones, so that's why I have the greatest hits of the first one here. And yeah, so that's pretty much what it looks like. I personally never played a whole lot of God of War, but from what I've heard, it's a really good hack and slash game. It's apparently awarded 2005 Game of the Year by Play Magazine, Game Zone, PSM, Soundivision, and IGN. So a lot of studios there. And that's what the inside looks like. Yes, it is complete as well. So, yeah, God of War here. I should probably get around to playing these ones sometime because I've heard they're super fun. And, yeah, it's awarded 2005 Game of the Year by all of those publications there. So that is the first God of War. And then, of course, because I have the first one, I had to get the second one as well. So this is God of War 2, which is apparently a, if I can focus it on here, 2-disc set, so that's kind of cool. I haven't actually checked out what's on the second disc yet. I'm assuming it's probably just like bonus features, but that's pretty much what it looks like there. And once again, it is complete. So yeah, there's the game disc right there. And that is, yeah, it looks like it's a DVD-ROM, so it's a whole bunch of special features on the other disc there. And there's the instruction manual. So that is what God of War 2 looks like. And not too sure what, if this is supposed to be better than the first one or not. But that's what the bonus DVD features, if you want to take a look at it there. So we have deleted levels, voices of God of War 2, God of War 2 the music, and bringing God of War 2 to life. So not too bad, kind of behind the scenes stuff right there. So that is God of War 2. The shield, the game, just kind of shovelware that I don't really know why I have. So there is that one. And here's another pretty popular series of games here. I think it's pretty popular. The Jak games. I don't have the first one, the Jak and Daxter, the Precursor Legacy, but I do have Jak 2 and Jak 3. So we're going to take a look at Jak 2 first, and I played a little bit of this one. It's actually pretty fun as well. It's kind of sort of, I guess, a more family-friendly GTA game because you can kind of hijack other people's vehicles and that, and it's a big open world that you can do a whole lot of stuff in. I think you can do races and that, but yeah, I really like this game so far, even though I've only played, maybe half an hour of it. And there's the inside. It is complete and everything, so I'm happy to have this one here in my collection because I've heard the rest of the game is a lot of fun, and yeah, I really like certain platformers, so this one's kind of perfect for me. And then we have Jak 3 here, which I actually haven't even put into my machine yet, because I don't want to play through this one without playing through the other two first. So that's why I haven't played any of this one. But once again, it does look kind of fun, kind of the same sort of idea, except you have like your own kind of vehicle and everything. And once again, this one is complete and everything. So that is Jak 3 there. Oh yes, here is a fun one here. I love this game, Star Wars Battlefront 2, and I'm sure a lot of other people really like it as well. This is just a really fun shooter here. I actually used to play it a lot on PSP, which is where I kind of started to play it, and then I think I got the PS2 version one time. I didn't really care for it on the PS2 version, but I kind of have a new appreciation for it. Basically, it's kind of the same thing as the PSP version. But, yeah, just kind of going into all these battles as kind of your favorite Star Wars characters. There's certain maps where you can play as, like, a Jedi or a Sith, or there's certain maps where you can only play as, like, a Stormtrooper or droids or whatever. But it's a really, really fun game. It's kind of addicting as well. Once you play one battle, you just, can't put it down. It's such a great game. I love it. I don't have the first one because the first one is, like, super expensive. But I do have Star Wars Battlefront 2 because this one is, quite a bit cheaper than the other ones here. And I was actually kind of fortunate enough to find it at Goodwill. So that is Star Wars Battlefront 2, kind of one of my childhood games here. I love that one. Then we have, I don't think this one's too popular anymore. They did release a third one on Xbox 360 and PS3 and PC. But this is Max Payne here. I don't really hear a whole lot of people talking about this one because it is quite a bit older than some of these other Rockstar games. And yeah, because this one is pretty old. As you can see here, it's from 2001. So 20 years old this year. So yeah, it is kind of old, which is probably why not a lot of people talk about it. It is a Rockstar game. Rockstar makes some great games, so I'm not too sure why people don't really talk about this one that much. But once again, this one is complete, and it is pretty fun as well. It definitely plays like an old game. It's not like Max Payne 3 on the newer consoles. It definitely plays like an older game. It's got some kind of weird controls in it. But nonetheless, it is pretty fun, and it's kind of satisfying doing all of, like, the slow-motion bullet time and everything. It definitely takes cues from The Matrix, I'll say that, but that is Max Payne there. And then we have the sequel, Max Payne 2, The Fall of Max Payne, which I haven't played too much of, but I thought I'd just grab it to have both of them on the PS2 here. So that is Max Payne 2. Oh yes, another great series here. This one I have most of the ones on PS2. I'm just missing a couple of them. See if I can make some room to put all 4 of them in one shot here. There we go. I think, there we go. That is good enough. So we have the Ratchet and Clank series, which is another one that I really, really love. So let's go ahead and move these ones out of the way first so we can take a look at the first one here. Unfortunately, once again, it is a greatest hits release, which I personally don't really care for. But yeah, this game is just a lot of fun. You have a whole bunch of different weapons that you can use. Some of them are pretty powerful. Others are, you know, kind of nah. But there's a whole lot of, you know, fun platforming. And, you know, you can smash boxes and you can, you know, kill enemies to go buy or like acquire bolts, and you take those bolts to, you know, kind of upgrade your weapons or buy new weapons or whatever. And, yeah, this is a really fun game. This is actually the only Ratchet and Clank that I've completed. I used to have all of them on, PS2 here. Like, I think they used to be Black Labels, actually, that I used to have. And this one also was complete. This one is not complete, however. But that is what the first Ratchet and Clank looks like. Just a lot of fun. If you haven't played Ratchet and Clank, what are you doing? Stop watching this video and go and, you know, go to your local game store, see if they have this here, and buy it and play it, because this is such a fun game. It definitely plays like an older game, but it is pretty good as well. So that is Ratchet and Clank there. And then I think this is the game that a lot of people credit with really kind of solidifying the formula of Ratchet and Clank. This is Going Commando here. Once again, a greatest hits release, which is kind of unfortunate. But yeah, apparently this is quite a bit harder than the first one. And I actually found parts of 1 really, really hard. So maybe when I get around to playing this one, it hopefully won't be too hard. But at least it'll, you know, hopefully be manageable. This one is at least complete as well. But yeah, I've heard that this one is supposed to be a lot of fun, a lot of like, you know, tournament stuff, like kind of gladiatorial matches, I guess you could say, where you just go and fight a whole gauntlet of enemies. So that is Going Commando there, which is the second game in the series. And then we have Ratchet and Clank Up Your Arsenal. You can, you know, can you spot the double entendre in these titles here? But yeah, Ratchet and Clank Up Your Arsenal, which I think is considered the best one by pretty much everybody. And this one is supposed to be a whole lot of fun. I haven't played too much of it, but I do want to. But yeah, so there is the inside of that. Once again, this one is complete, and it is Black Label as well, which is good. So that is Ratchet and Clank Up Your Arsenal. And then this was the game that I think a lot of people like, but not a lot of people talk about. This is Ratchet Deadlocked here, which basically takes kind of the gladiatorial stuff that I was talking about here, where you're basically just fighting a whole bunch of enemies in that. It took that stuff from these 2 games, I believe, and they basically made a whole game out of it, and it was online as well. So I think a lot of people really, really like this game just because of the online and because it's supposed to be super fun and addicting. But I think I used to have this one, and this was one that I didn't really play too often as a kid. I don't know, I just didn't really kind of get around to finishing this one or playing it a whole lot. But that is Ratchet Deadlocked here. I'll just fix the order of these. There we go. So those are the Ratchet and Clank games, I guess, at least the mainline ones. They did release 2 spin-off ones, which were Size Matters and Secret Agent Clank, but I don't have those ones yet. Anyways, let's take a look at the next one here. This one is really, really good. State of Emergency. Once again, another Rockstar game that nobody really talks about too much, but it is just really fun. As you can see right here, you're basically just kind of going around, and I think it's like during riots and that. It's a really fun game. You're just trying to get like the highest score possible. And apparently it was awarded as a top overall game of E3 by GameSpot.com. And once again, unfortunately, it is a greatest hits title. And it is the case is pretty beat up here. But that's what the inside looks like. But yeah, very, very underrated game by Rockstar here. I really, really like it. So that is State of Emergency. This one I think could probably be considered shovelware, but it's actually not that bad of a game, is TMNT here, based off of the movie of the same name, which I think came out around 2007. But it's okay. I don't know. I haven't really played too much of it, so there is TMNT. Not really too much to say. Next one here is Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith, which was another one that I remember having as a kid, and I think it was pretty fun. But I don't really remember it too much, but I think it was kind of, satisfying just cutting through droids and everything. But yeah, this one came out around the same time as the movie did, which the movie itself is pretty good. I really like it. Probably the best of the prequel trilogy, but yeah, this one is complete as well. So that is Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith. And I think we are getting close to the end of kind of like the more linear third-person stuff. Next one we got here is another pretty underrated one that nobody talks about too much, and that is Mark Echo's Getting Up, Contents Under Pressure. It's got a really good cast here. If you can see here, I don't know if you guys can really see that, but just the people that you have in here, you've got like Adam West, Brittany Murphy, Charlie Murphy, George Hamilton, Giovanni Ribisi, Rosario Dawson, The RZA, P. Diddy, Andy Dick, also featuring music by The RZA, Notorious B.I.G., System of a Down. You have just like a lot of talent involved in this game here. And yeah, this is a game that nobody talks about very much. I don't know if it's like worth too much money, because I found it for $13, as you can see right there. But yeah, this one is pretty cool so far. I think it's kind of like in a dystopian-ish kind of city where like graffiti's like outlawed. But it is a pretty cool game from what I played of it so far. This case is all kind of gross. But yeah, Mark Echo's Getting Up. It also has a nice and shiny case there. Some like shiny designs. And the last one I have for kind of the third-person stuff is Resident Evil 4, which is apparently everybody's favorite Resident Evil game. But I haven't played too much of it. I should get around to checking it out sometime. But I just have it in my collection just because it's supposed to be that good. So that is Resident Evil 4. So that's all the third-person stuff. Next stuff is more third-person, but it's like open world. So kind of like style or GTA style stuff. So the only 3 GTA games that I have on PS2 right now are GTA 3, which is a pretty primitive GTA game, but it definitely has some resemblance to the newer games because it is more open world, it's 3D, and you basically just do whatever you want in this big huge city. The first 2 GTA games were kind of like a top-down thing, as if I can remember correctly. They were more like top-down, and they were kind of like pixelated almost, I think. So yeah, it's definitely not what GTA games are nowadays, but this one is kind of more in line with that style. So this one is complete as well, and I think it has the poster and everything. So that is GTA 3. And the next one I have here is GTA San Andreas, which once again is another greatest hits release. I should probably update my copy of this, because it is incomplete and it's a greatest hits title. But this one, I think everybody pretty much loves. This one is a really, really good game. I think I had it for original Xbox before, and I have it on Steam. Now I have it on PS2, so I have it on pretty much every single console that's been released on. But yeah, this is a really good game. Pretty controversial as well because of the whole like hot coffee mod thing, which they had to like take out of the code, and that wasn't even in the overall game. But that is GTA San Andreas. And then the only other GTA game I have here is Liberty City Stories, which is kind of a PSP release spinoff that they decided to port to the PS2. But this one's okay. The graphics aren't very good for this one, like especially if you compare it to San Andreas or GTA 3. The graphics are actually somehow worse. But it's an okay game. It's basically taking place in the same city as GTA 3 was. But yeah, it's, kind of, Vice City Stories was also released, but that one's pretty expensive on PS2, unfortunately, so I probably won't be getting that one anytime soon. But there's that. Next one up here, I think Sony decided to kind of do a copycat version of GTA, and this one is The Getaway. Basically, it's set in London, I think. It's kind of like a Guy Ritchie movie, almost. it takes a lot of cues from like Snatch and Lock, Stock and everything like that. I played like 2 seconds of it and I turned it off because I had no idea what I was supposed to do, where I was supposed to go, because they really want you to like excuse me, and they really want you to like think this is like a movie, so they have it in like the kind of cinematic aspect ratio. There's like nothing on the screen, there's no mini map or anything to tell you where to go. Like they don't tell you what to do in this game. But yeah, the Getaway here, I played like 2 minutes of it and I turned it off because I had no idea what I was supposed to do. So there is the Getaway. I at least have it in my collection though. Here's another game that I used to have in my collection, which was really, really fun, and this is Bully here. Once again, if it's not GTA or Red Dead, it seems like nobody talks about these other Rockstar games, but Bully here is pretty underrated. It's also got a really nice looking cover as well. And basically, it's kind of a more family-friendly GTA, almost kind of like Jak 3. But basically, instead of like a big city you have to like kind of mess around in, you only have like the school. Maybe like a small town almost, and you're playing as this boy, so there's no like, lots of like blood and gore or prostitutes around, because, you are like this boy and you have to be in class and everything. You can like beat up like some students in that, but you are kind of punished for it in the same way that you are in GTA, where you're punished if the cops catch you. But it is still a pretty fun game nonetheless. I really like it, and I really dug it when I had it on PS2 before. So that is Bully. This one is complete as well. It has the poster. That's what Rockstar really likes to do, is have posters in with their games. So that is Bully there. Next one I have here is The Godfather, the game, which is EA's attempt to kind of do a GTA style one. It's basically kind of a precursor to Mafia, I would say, in that you are playing through like the Godfather. You're not playing as like Vito Corleone or anything. You basically create your own guy, and you're part of like the mob and everything. I haven't played too much of it, which is why I don't have too much to say. But this one is the limited edition. It's got the 1 disc there. Plus, you also have a bonus disc, which I have no idea what's on there. So that is the Godfather, the game limited edition. I don't have the slipcover for it either. And here is a game that's really gone up in price recently, Scarface: The World Is Yours. And basically it's kind of the same thing as the Godfather game. You're just kind of going around in Miami and everything. And they unfortunately did not get Al Pacino to come back to do the voice of Tony Montana here. But I think he did grant his likeness, and his voice is provided by like a really good impersonator of him. But this is a game that's really gone up in price. Recently, it's like a $50-$60 game now, which is, which makes me glad that I ended up getting it for only $25 a few months ago. But yeah, Scarface: The World Is Yours here is a pretty fun game. Alright, let's go to some first-person shooters now, which is this little pile of stuff here. And what better way to start that genre off with the Medal of Honor games. And I know a lot of people really like these ones, which is why I should probably get around to checking them out sometime. But that's pretty much, I think, all of them that were put out on the PS2. Maybe I might be missing one, but I'm not too sure. But let's go one at a time once again here. So first one is Medal of Honor Frontline, which is, I think, the most popular one. This is kind of like a reprint version of it. But this is basically kind of going through like D-Day and everything. It is a really good game. Some pretty good graphics for the time, and if you're wondering, that's what the inside looks like. So as you can see by this case design, it's definitely kind of a later stage PS2 one because they didn't have the memory card holders anymore. So that is Medal of Honor Frontline. I'm going to try to go through these a little bit faster because I still have a lot of games to go through. Next one's Medal of Honor Rising Sun, which is kind of the more like kind of Pacific Theater version of it. So there is that, because one of the starting missions of the game is Pearl Harbor. So this is kind of the more like Pacific stuff. And it also doesn't hurt that these games actually had the backing of Steven Spielberg, which is really, really cool. I think at least the first game did. And because he absolutely loves video games, which is one thing that people might not know about Steven Spielberg, is that he actually does really, really like video games. And these ones actually, I think, had, like, at least the first one, I don't know about these ones, I think they had the backing of Steven Spielberg doing them. And then we have Medal of Honor European Assault, which was kind of the last mainline Medal of Honor game on PS2 here. And that's what that one looks like here. And this was kind of the more like kind of European theater of that. And then we have Medal of Honor Vanguard here, which is, I think, one that not very many people know exists. I think this is only released on like PS2 and Wii, which is kind of odd. And yeah, so there's the inside of that one there. So that is it for the Medal of Honor series. And now I have a couple of James Bond ones here. So the first one is Agent Under Fire. Once again, another greatest hits version of this one. It's a pretty fun game. It's got a pretty primitive control scheme, though. It's kind of like, it kind of controls like GoldenEye almost, where you have to use like one thumbstick to kind of like move forward and back, and then you have to use the other thumbstick to move left and right, and it's just a really confusing control scheme. I know some people might be used to that. I'm not, because I never played GoldenEye as a kid. I'm kind of more used to, I'm kind of more used to the Call of Duty style, where the one thumbstick controls your character and the other thumbstick controls your camera. This one is kind of the complete opposite, because you use one thumbstick to move your character forward and back, and then left and right is to look left and right, and then the other thumbstick, left and right, is to move left and right, and then up and down are to look up and down. So I just find that really confusing. I know, I'm sorry, but I don't really care for that particular control scheme. But luckily, I think you can change the control scheme in the options. That is 007 Agent Under Fire, which I think was the first one put out. And then they followed it up with Nightfire here, which, you know, you still have all new storyline featuring Pierce Brosnan as James Bond, which I believe he was still James Bond when this game came out. And there is the other one there, or the inside of the case. So that is 007 Nightfire and Agent Under Fire. Then we have Red Faction here, which is another popular one. They made a sequel to this one, Red Faction 2, and then they did the two other ones on the newer consoles, PS3 and 360 and everything. I don't have Red Faction 2. I think I did used to have it on, what was it, Xbox, I think. But I do have the first Red Faction now on PS2, which I believe it was a PS2 and Xbox exclusive. I might be wrong on that, but this one also is complete. So that is Red Faction. And speaking of the James Bond ones, there is another one, Everything or Nothing, which I did used to have on Xbox. I still need to get that one on PS2. So that's Red Faction. Then we have Black here, which is a pretty advanced game for the time. It had some really, really good graphics. I was surprised when I played this one. This one easily could have passed as an early PS3 game. That's how good the graphics are. It's very, very advanced for the PS2 here, but unfortunately no instruction manual, but I do have the disc there. So that is Black. And then next one I have here is Ghost Recon. I've never cared for this game. I don't really like it. I only bought it because it was like $1 at the pawn shop, but there's the inside of that. It's greatest hits, but I don't really care about it because I don't care about Ghost Recon. Excuse me, that was pretty short. And then next we have Return to Castle Wolfenstein Operation Resurrection, which is, I have no idea when, like when this is in the, the whole Wolfenstein kind of saga, I guess. I don't know what installment this would be. But once again, this one is complete. And yeah, that's Wolfenstein. So that's it for the first-person shooter one. So now we will go on to some RPGs, which I only have a couple. So the first two I have are part of a series. And this is the Kingdom Hearts and Kingdom Hearts 2 kind of duology. Let's take a look at the first Kingdom Hearts first. Basically, this is kind of like crossing over Disney characters and Final Fantasy characters, which I think is why a lot of people really like this game. I should get around to playing this one a little bit soon here. But yeah, that's pretty much what the inside of the case looks like. There it is complete. Unfortunately, it is greatest hits as well. But yeah, it's a super popular game that I should probably get around to checking out here soon. And then I also have Kingdom Hearts 2 Black Label because I like the shiny cover on this one. And there you go. pretty much what this one looks like. So, looks like this one here, do you get to play as Mickey in this one? Looks like it might be just Donald and Goofy, but you can, there's like Nightmare Before Christmas, Aladdin, there's like Maleficent and Jafar there, Hades from Hercules, but yeah, Kingdom Hearts here. This one, it looks like you can play as Mickey now, or you can have like Mickey as part of your team, as you can see right there. So you have Mickey, Donald, and Goofy, and looks like maybe some other Final Fantasy characters. But yeah, Kingdom Hearts 2, that is that one there. And then the only other ones that I have for the RPG genre are Final Fantasy 12, which I have not played, so I can't say anything about it. But there is the inside of that one. And then we have Final Fantasy X2 here, or 10-2. I don't really know how you would say that, but there is that one there. Alright, let's take a look at some racing games now, which I only have a few of them. MX vs. ATV Unleashed. It's not too bad, but you know, it's not the best racing game I've ever played or anything like that, but it's okay if you like ATVs or you know, like dirt bikes or whatever, then this is the game for you. And apparently they are popular because they made a whole bunch of sequels to these. So that is MX vs. ATV Unleashed. Splashdown Rides Gone Wild here, this one is pretty fun. Basically it's like jet ski racing. Apparently this is part of a box set for some reason. No manual, unfortunately, but that is the inside. This isn't the first game. There is a first one, I believe, and then this one is kind of more like a cartoony-ish. You know, you can race on like a dinosaur course or something like that. But yeah, you can do like a lot of crazy stunts in that one. And then we have the original Midnight Club here. I don't have 2 or 3. I used to play Midnight Club on 360. I think that was Midnight Club Los Angeles. But this is the original one here, so it'd be pretty interesting to see like where it kind of came from. Once again, it's another Rockstar game. Rockstar has done a lot of kind of diverse stuff. But yeah, this one, unfortunately, is another Greatest Hits version. And then we have Crazy Taxi here, which is a pretty popular arcade game. A lot of people really like this one, and I really like it too. It's just, you have a time limit, and you have to get as much kind of cab fare as possible, just picking up people and delivering them to their locations. But yeah, this one was ported to the PS2 from the arcade, and I think the Dreamcast as well, so that is Crazy Taxi. Then we have The Italian Job here, which is based off of the 2003 movie of the same name with Mark Wahlberg. It's an okay racing game. Once again, it's you know, nothing special, nothing spectacular. I do like the movie, though. The movie is pretty good, but that's The Italian Job. Then we have The Simpsons Road Rage here, which is basically just Crazy Taxi, but with the Simpsons characters. It's an okay game. It's not as good as the one that followed it, which was Simpsons Hit and Run, which is kind of more like GTA almost. But this is kind of more like a Crazy Taxi. It's more kind of linear-ish. But that's the inside of that. Yes, here is a classic series here I think everybody loves, SSX. This is not the best SSX game. It's definitely, you know, pretty weak compared to the other ones like Tricky or SSX 3. But this one is, these games are just super fun. Just, you get a whole bunch of, you know, kind of wild characters here. And you can do a whole bunch of just crazy tricks on all of these courses and everything. So this is the first game. This is where it kind of all started. I do want to get Tricky, but it's just impossible to find. I can't find it anywhere. But that is SSX here. And then we have one that was bundled with the PS2, like my new PS2 that I got, and that is ATV Quad Power Racing 2. Yeah, I don't really care about this game at all. It's just kind of in my collection. So there's that. It's, you know, kind of meh. Then we have a couple of fighting games here. So we have Mortal Kombat Armageddon with a really nice shiny cover. I haven't played too much of this Mortal Kombat. I do like Mortal Kombat as a series, but I just haven't played very much of this one here. And then we have Soul Calibur 2 here. There is a Soul Calibur 3 on PS2, but I do not have that one yet. I should probably get that one soon if I can find it somewhere. But that's the inside of it. And actually, one interesting thing to note about this one is that on, what is it, GameCube, So they put this one out on GameCube. You can actually get an exclusive fighter. You can actually fight as Link on there from Legend of Zelda, which is kind of cool, but that is Soul Calibur 2. And then we have Tekken Tag Tournament here, which I think was one of the first PS2 games ever released. It does look pretty old. But once again, it's another kind of arcade port. At least it definitely feels arcadey to me. But yeah, this one is complete and everything. And when is this from? It's saying 1999, but that wasn't when the PS2 was put out. Yeah, it's saying 1999. So yeah, I was probably right. This might have been one of the very first PS2 games ever released, like as a launch title. So that is Tekken Tag Tournament. And then we have Virtua Fighter 4, which was, I believe, a Sega Genesis classic game. But they put out Virtua Fighter 4 on the PS2 here. And this is what that one looks like on the inside. Also a kind of gross case as well. And last but not least, we just have a whole bunch of kind of miscellaneous stuff here. Some sport games, some puzzle games, kind of a mixture of stuff. We have Harry Potter Quidditch World Cup, which is, you know, pretty fun. It's very easy, but it's, you know, kind of fun here. It's definitely a departure from the other Harry Potter games where they're kind of more just like third-person kind of adventure platformer games. This one's a sports game here. So that is Harry Potter Quidditch World Cup. Then we have yet another classic for the system, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3. You have to have this one on, you know, any, 6th gen console that you should have in your collection. You should have this game because this one is fantastic. I love this one. And pretty much any other Tony Hawk game on the PS2. But yeah, that is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3. Unfortunately, it is a bit water damaged, but whatever. At least I have Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3, which is a great game. Seek and Destroy, which is pretty terrible. I don't know why I have this one in my collection, but there is that one. And then we have Super Bust-A-Move here, which is like a puzzle game that I actually don't mind. It's actually pretty fun. It's made by Taito, and Acclaim here. And it is a really fun game, actually. I really enjoyed what I've played of it, except it's got like this really creepy, weird cover with like a baby blowing like a gum bubble. Then we have Spy Hunter here, which is, you know, kind of an odd game. You don't really do a whole lot of like spy stuff. It's just kind of like, you know, James Bond, kind of Aston Martin kind of stuff. It's an okay game. I don't know. I don't really have too much to say about it, but that is Spy Hunter here. They made a second one, and they made another game with The Rock. That was supposed to be a movie, but they never ended up doing the movie, so there's just kind of that game. But, yeah, Spy Hunter there. And then we have Stuntman here, which is apparently supposed to be a super hard game, and, yeah, I've played it before, and it is pretty dang hard. Yeah, apparently there's a sequel that I remember playing, and it is supposed to be a whole lot easier than this one. But yeah, that is Stuntman here. Apparently it's from the same people that did Driver. Then we have Sonic Mega Collection Plus, which has a whole bunch of Sonic games on here. You have 1, 2, 3, Sonic and Knuckles, Sonic 3D Blast, Sonic Spinball, and Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. So you have a whole bunch of classic Sonic games on here, which is a really good deal. And if you can find this one, I definitely recommend checking it out or picking it up if you want some, you know, good old Sonic goodness. Madden 06, which I have nothing to say about. It's just Madden. There's nothing spectacular about it at all. If you're a fan of sports games, that's okay, but, you know, I'm not really a huge Madden fan. I just have this in my collection because it came with, it was bundled when I got my PS2 at the pawn shop, so there's that. And last but not least for this collection, we have the Da Vinci Code here, which is just kind of a typical third-person shooter, or, you know, kind of a third-person game. Nothing to say about it. I do like the movie, though. The movie's pretty good, even though everybody hates it, apparently. But, yeah, the Da Vinci Code here, just kind of, yeah. Anyway, though, guys, that is about it for this video. A whole bunch of games I have to show you guys, and I think I need some water here. So, excuse me. And thanks for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment, share. Twitter and Instagram links will be in the description down below if you want to follow me on there. Also, be sure to check out my IMDb profile page. The link for that will also be down below in the description of this video as well, to check out what I've been watching recently. And also, if you're new to my channel, or if you're already subscribed, be sure to click the bell to be notified of future videos. A new video every Tuesday and Fridays. Anyway, though, guys, that is about it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you all next time. As you can tell, I need some water. So, we'll see you all next time.